What is up, guys? My name is Lex. It is August 10th, Thursday, around 2 p.m. This is episode number 208 of this poker vlog channel. Today, we're going to be playing some golf. We're going to go to the gym for a workout. We're also going to play some poker at Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. That is my home casino. 5-10 no limit. Let's go. This is actually my 8th year living in South Florida. This is my 8th summer down here, and this is by far the worst summer I have experienced down here in Florida. It is so hot every single day. It's like 95, 98 degrees, plus the humidity, and it's also raining every single day as well. I don't remember it being this wet, but every day from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it rains, it downpours. It's pretty annoying. I'm ready for the winter time. I'm ready for the 75 and sunny. I guess you got to live with the bad to be able to live with the good. Hopefully we survive today in golf. It is a heat index, excessive heat index warning. It's 108 degrees real feel. Got some water, got my tank top. We'll see how it goes. And right on cue, it is 2:50 in the afternoon and the rain is starting. Bad for a poker player. All right, bunker. Landed in the bunker. Fuck. So I just realized that I made a mistake. It's not with my golf game, although I'm making a lot of mistakes here. It's that I forgot to put on deodorant before I left the house, and I'm going to the gym after this. Shit. All right, just finished up that workout. Actually wasn't too bad. 7 rounds, 7 push press, 7 burpees over bar, 49 double unders. I finished in 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Did some weighted pull-ups after that. It's around 6 p.m. now. We're finally heading to the poker room. Gonna play some 5-10 no limit. Let's go. $2,500 buy-in at this game. Just an FYI, I did in fact remember to use deodorant before I came here, and we showered, we're ready to go. First hand I play here, I've got pocket nines. I raised to 60. I get 2 calls and see a very nice flop of queen 8-9 with a flush draw, flopping middle set for us. I decided to play this hand a little unorthodox and check here out of position, thinking that I don't block any top pair holdings. My opponents could maybe stab with flush draws or straight draws. My plan here is to check and hopefully check raise with middle set and put more money in this pot, but unfortunately this plan backfires when the action checks all the way around. Turn card 7 of hearts, gonna bet now I make it 125, and both of my opponents make the call. Going here to the river, which pairs the board. It's an 8. We have a full house. 9's full of 8s. I decide to take another risky line here and check out of position. My thoughts here is that once the flop goes check, 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 it's less likely that any of my opponents have a queen X hand for me to bet and for them to call. I feel like the likely hands they're going to have here are miss straight draws and miss flush draws. And also it's possible one of my opponents could have improved to an 8X hand for trips. So I take a risky line and check, and it does pay off this time when the opponent to my left fires out a bet of $440. Button folds, action back over on me. He's got about $1,100 left in his stack. We are going for it and shipping it all in. I really didn't have time to get situated. I sat down at the table. I got dealt in pocket nines, a set, a full house on the river, and we were all in. My opponent has a decision to make. He's got around $1,200 left, and eventually he does call. We're getting paid off here. Full house is good to win over a $2,000 pot. First hand of the session, we stack our opponent here on the left. Feels good to get paid off with a big hand. I collect my chips, and the very next hand I'm dealt in, under the gun, I've got pocket aces. I raise to $75, get one call out of the cutoff, and go heads up here out of position to 8-3-5 with two hearts. Great flop for pocket aces. I bet out $100 and get min raised now to $200 by my opponent. He's got around $600 or $700 left in his stack. I feel like if I had a hand like pocket tens or pocket jacks, I would just ship it all in here for protection, but given the fact that I have pocket aces with the ace of hearts, my hand is just so strong on this board, I don't really need any protection. I'd rather allow him to keep hanging himself on the turn than to go all in and have him hero fold a hand like 8x, pocket nines, or pocket tens. So I call for $100 more. Turn 7 of diamonds, I check over to him. He bets $400 now with $200 remaining. I put him all in and he calls, and we win against pocket nines. Overpair versus overpair, we win almost a $2,000 pot. We have played 2 hands so far this session. I've been here literally about 11 minutes, and I'm already up thousands of dollars on the day. A nice change of events compared to the last time I played poker, 5-10 at the Harris. I was losing with sets, I was chopping with sets, I wasn't getting paid off. Now we've stacked 2 opponents within the first 10 minutes of our session. I get moved over to the main game now and get into another big pot. Under the gun raises to 60. I have ace king next to act and 3-bet to 200 before a pretty action European pro cold 4-bets out of the big blind to $500. Back over now to the straddle, who has a short stack, and he goes all in for $450. Under the gun initial raiser folds, action back over on me. This is a very strong play for the big blind, a cold 4-bet after an under the gun and under the gun plus 1 3-bet. I don't think a 5-bet is the best option here, so I decided to call $500 in position, and we are going 3 ways to this flop. One player's all in, there's a small side pot, and we see an ace-high board giving me top pair, top kicker. Big blind player who cold 4-bet continues for a $500 bet. On this flop in a 4-bet pot, we're either going to be way ahead or way behind. He's either going to have a hand like pocket tens for a set, pocket aces for a set, or ace jack, ace queen, ace king, or an under pair to the board. Don't feel like raising is the good option. Folding is never an option, so I call for $500, and the turn pairs the board with the 6 of spades. This pot is getting huge so far. Feeling pretty good about my hand, but maybe not so much when the big blind continues for a $1,400 bet. Now we have to make a decision. I'm never going to be folding my hand. It's just way too strong on this board, but the options now are to call or to just jam all in. I feel like it's pretty close against this particular player type. He definitely is the kind of player that may double or triple barrel huge on the river. I've seen him capable of bluffing huge in some big pots. But the thing is, once he continues for $1,400 on this turn, he doesn't have hands like pocket queens, kings, and jacks. He either has hands like ace king, ace queen, pocket tens, pocket aces, or some big combo draws. Hands like queen jack of spades, king queen of hearts. All these hands do have a lot of equity against us. So it's kind of close. Should we call, allow him to keep bluffing? Should we go all in and try to charge him for his flush draws and straight draws? I ultimately think that going all in could be fine. Could get him to call with hands like ace queen, ace jack. He's going to call with ace king either way. We can charge him the max with his straight draws and flush draws. So I go for it, jamming all in for $4,300 total. As I'm sliding out my chips, I get the worst news possible when the big blind snap calls and shows pocket aces for top full house. I'm drawing dead, and over a $10,000 pot, we are getting stacked here. Just kidding. This is the session of Run Good. My opponent goes into the tank and starts thinking, which is great news. That means we have the best hand, or that we're at least chopping here. He's saying out loud that he thinks that I have pocket tens for a full house, which makes me feel like he's got ace queen or ace king. Hey, if I can get him off a chop, that's great for me. After over a minute of thinking, the big blind finally folds his card, so we are going to win a rather large side pot here, but we are all in still against the straddle for the main pot. Go into the river card, which is the jack of hearts. I show ace king, top pair, top kicker. Straddle shows an ace and folds, so we're going to win the side pot, and we're going to win the main pot as well. Almost $3,000 worth of profit in this hand. The sick part as well is that the big blind says that he got there on the jack of hearts river, so not sure if he either had king queen for a straight or if he had a flush draw and the heart hit. I am glad I went all in there on the turn. That's kind of the reason that I went all in, is because if the river card was a bad one, I wouldn't really know where I was at. So far, this session is going very well. 3 for 3 in huge pots in 30 minutes. We're already up over $5,000. I switch over to my favorite seat for poker vlogging, seat number 2, and peel back black pocket kings. I'm in the straddle for 25. There's 2 limps for 25. I raised to 125, and they both make the call. 3 ways out of position, 2 top set for us. King 9-3, 2 hearts. The Run Good session is real. Let's make this 4 for 4 on the night. I bet 175 and only get 1 call. Heads up now at a position. Turn card 10 of diamonds. We no longer have the best hand possible on this board. Queen Jack does make a straight, but there's still a ton of hands I can get value from if I keep betting. I do block him from having top pair, given the fact that I have 2 kings in my hand and there's 1 on the board. But he can have a ton of hands here. He can have pair plus straight draws. He can have flush draws. He can have 9x hands. So I'm going to bet a sizing that I feel like he can call with those hands. I make it 250. We don't get any more value out of our top set, though, when he folds, and we win a small pot. A very interesting spot coming up next here with pocket 8s. I'm under the gun. I raised to $60 over a $25 straddle. Middle position player and small blind player call 60 before the straddle makes it 175. A very small 3-bet here out of position. He's also a short stack with only $280 left in his stack. I could re-raise here and try to isolate the straddle and get it all in against him, but I feel like it's better just to call, go multi-way with this hand with the bigger stacks behind me, try to hit a set, and win an even bigger pot. Plus, pocket 8s are flipping at best against the straddle's range. Well, the middle position player calls 175, and the small blind player calls 175. 4 ways, 3-bet pot to 6-3 deuce. All spades, we flop an overpair and the 8 high flush draw. Small blind checks. Big blind straddle player goes all in for $280. Feel like my only option here is to call versus the size of the pot. Don't really want to re-raise, so I put in $280. Middle position player folds, and now the action's back over here on the small blind. The small blind is a player who really hasn't gotten out of line this entire night. He seems to be playing pretty snug. He has had somewhat of a rough night, losing a couple buy-ins, but other than that, I haven't seen him do anything too crazy. He hasn't bluffed big. He's always had it in big pots. And eventually, after about a minute and a half of thinking over his options, he decides now to go all in for $1,250. Action back over on me, and we are in a very interesting spot here with pocket 8s. We have an overpair to the board. It's a pretty big pot already, but the small blind player is showing so much strength. He's going all in over my call. Does he have a flush? Does he have a 6? Pocket 7s? Does he got a bigger pocket pair than me? Does he have the ace of spades for the nut flush draw? It's a pretty weird one. I have no idea what to do. It's only $1,000 more for me to call, and it's a pretty big pot, but I feel like against this tighter, nittier player, he never is doing this with a flush draw. He's probably never doing this with a 6, probably not doing this with pocket 7s. He maybe flat called my raise preflop and then flat called a 3-bet with a hand like pocket 9s, 10s, or jacks. I don't know, it's a close one. Can I really fold an overpair in this pot for only $1,000 more? I am up a ton on this session. If I call and lose, I'll still be up a couple $1,000. I want you guys to pause the video now. Go down in the comments below and let me know what you would do in this situation. Would you call $1,000 more with pocket 8s, or would you hero fold Take your time, think this one over, put yourself in my situation. All right, you're back at the video now. Let's see what happened. I eventually felt like I was never good in this situation versus this player type in this action, so I fold pocket eights, and I do get to see the run out. Show your cards. You first.
Ah, yeah, he called. Good game. Nice. Flash. Very good.
Nice hand, man.
Thanks.
Wow, the small blind shows pocket tens with the 10 of spades. We were basically drawing dead against him. The straddle player did have ace king, so we were beating him. Kind of a tight fold there with pocket eights, but I went with my gut, went with my read that the small blind wasn't shoving with a worse hand. Luckily, it paid off for us. So far this session, we were 4 for 4 on big wins, big pots. This one takes us now 4 for 5. Let's try to book the win. I had a bad session at the Harris just a couple days ago, losing almost $5,000. Today, I got all that money back, plus more. I end up racking up my chips, heading to the cage, and cashing out for the night. Back to a familiar spot. For those of you who have been watching for a while, this is the exact place I did my very first outro for my first ever poker vlog, February 15th, 2021, over 2.5 years ago. 200 vlogs later, we're here doing the outro today. Great day overall, felt good at the golf course, didn't lose too many balls, felt okay with my swing, went to the gym, felt good there, got a good workout in, went home, showered, remembered my deodorant this time, came to the poker room, bam, bam, bam. Huge pots back to back to back. My very first hand, I'm not lying, my very first hand, pocket nines, flop a set, river full house, stack the guy. The very next hand after that, pocket aces, stack the guy. Move over to the main game. Very first hand, ace king, win a huge 4-bet pot. I ended up profiting $6,500 on the day. It feels good to win. I haven't won many sessions, if not any sessions, since last month. So I didn't really go over this because I was traveling a lot and I was kind of behind on my poker vlogs, but last month, which was July was my best month ever in poker. It was insane. I've never ran so good. I've never had so many big wins. I've never won so many consistent days back to back to back. In July of 2023, I made $54,000 playing poker. That included the $18,000 win at the Win and included the $21,000 win at the Hustler, which I did sell action for, so I didn't get all that $21,000, but I basically just won every single day. Every time I played, I won $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, but this month of August has been the complete opposite. Before today's session, I was down $25,000, so the swings in this game are huge. Up $54,000, my best month ever, to down $25,000, but today felt good to win $6,500 worth of profit. Feel like I'm playing okay. I have to kind of switch my thinking from playing on Hustler Livestream, where I'm trying to give a lot of action, to then playing in these games where I don't need to be given a lot of action. I need to be playing well. So I'm trying to just make sure I, have that balance, because when I'm playing on the live stream, especially Hustler Livestream, when we're drinking, I want to get in there. I want to play a lot of pots. I want to play a huge V-pip. I can't play like that here. I'll get crushed. I'll lose all my money if I play like that here. So felt good today, ran well today. Hope you guys, Jesus Christ, the fuck was that? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been a long day for me, and yeah, more videos just like this to come. Heading to Jacksonville Best Bet for a live stream. Gonna go to some other places as well, and that's all I got. So until next time, I'll see ya.